Hello, welcome to MindLab Secrets. Today we are talking about how a forest is born. Imagine standing here and seeing absolutely nothing. No trees, no birds, no insects, no forest, just bare ground, rocks, and sunlight. But give nature enough time, and this empty landscape can become one of the most complex ecosystems on Earth. So how does a forest actually begin? It doesn't start with a forest. It starts with something much smaller. The first organisms to arrive are often called pioneer species. Mosses, lichens, grasses, small plants that can survive where larger organisms cannot. They may look insignificant, but they're doing something incredibly important. They're beginning to break down rock. Their roots and organic material help create the first layers of soil. And when these organisms die, their remains stay behind. Over time, dead organic matter accumulates. Microorganisms break it down. Nutrients are released. And slowly, the ground becomes more suitable for life. The first stage of the forest has begun. Eventually, larger plants can take advantage of this new environment. Shrubs appear, then young trees. At first, there may only be a few. They are exposed to the wind. They compete for water, and every tree is competing for one incredibly valuable resource: sunlight. A young tree growing beneath another plant may receive only a fraction of the light above it. So trees begin competing vertically. They grow taller, they spread their branches, they push their leaves toward the sky, and slowly the landscape begins to change. But something surprising happens as more trees appear. The trees don't just adapt to the environment, they begin changing it. Their leaves provide shade, their roots hold the soil together, their branches slow the wind, and water that falls as rain can be captured by leaves, branches, and soil before slowly moving through the ecosystem. The ground beneath the trees becomes cooler and more humid. Dead leaves accumulate, and once again, the trees are creating better conditions for other plants. The forest is beginning to build itself, and where plants go, animals eventually follow. First come tiny creatures, insects, spiders, worms, then birds begin using the trees for food and shelter. Small mammals move into the growing forest. Some animals eat the plants, others eat the insects, and some eat the animals that eat the insects. The forest is no longer just a collection of trees. It's becoming a food web. But there's another important group hiding beneath our feet. And without them, the forest couldn't exist. Beneath the forest floor is an entire world we rarely see. Fungi, bacteria, tiny organisms, and enormous networks of fungal threads connected to plant roots. These relationships can be extremely important for plants. The fungi can help roots obtain water and nutrients from the soil. In return, the plant provides the fungi with carbon produced through photosynthesis. It's a partnership that has existed for hundreds of millions of years. And when a tree dies, the story doesn't end. Fungi and microorganisms break down its wood. Nutrients return to the soil, and those nutrients can eventually become part of another living plant. In a forest, even death becomes fuel for new life. After decades, and eventually centuries, the forest becomes more complex. Different trees occupy different levels. Some reach the highest part of the canopy. Others live beneath them. Shrubs grow closer to the ground. Mosses cover rocks and fallen wood. And thousands of species begin interacting with one another. Predators control prey populations. Pollinators move between flowers. Birds and mammals spread seeds. Fungi recycle nutrients. And trees capture energy from the sun. Everything is connected. What began as bare ground has become an ecosystem. But a forest is never truly finished. Trees fall, branches break, storms create gaps in the canopy. Fire can destroy entire areas. And when that happens, the forest can begin again. Seeds reach the newly opened ground. Plants return. Young trees grow. And another generation begins. This process can take decades, centuries, or even longer. A forest may look permanent from the outside, but underneath the canopy, it is constantly changing. So how is a forest born? Not from a single tree, and not in a single moment. It begins with tiny organisms colonizing bare ground. Then plants create soil. Trees capture sunlight. Roots change the ground. Animals arrive. Fungi recycle nutrients. And generation after generation, the ecosystem becomes more complex. A forest isn't simply a group of trees. It is a living system built over time by millions of organisms. And perhaps the most incredible part is this. The forest doesn't just grow in its environment. It slowly transforms it into a place where more life can exist. All of this can begin with something almost invisible. A seed, a spore, a tiny organism, and enough time. Because the world's greatest forests once started with almost nothing.